Hey everybody, it's Dr. Dave, Psychiatry, reminding you that if medication fixes the problems that you're having, that makes it medical, not mental. And that's the focus of the channel. That's going to be the constant reminder, and I hope that it's helpful to you. For people that have thought they've been mentally ill for years and find that medicine fixes them, well, guess what? That's a medical problem, not a mental problem, and I hope that's encouraging to you. Twice today it happened that the same circumstance occurred in my office, so I decided to jump on the video today and make a quick video for the channel. And the topic basically is around people being reluctant to ask for help. Twice in one morning I had somebody say, look, Doc, I don't know why it was hard for me to tell you this, but my anxiety has really been bad. And I don't know why I'm reluctant to tell you about it, but we got to do something. So the first person that I saw, that was the original statement. We're going to address that today by raising this patient's GABA booster. If you don't know what GABA boosting is, you can find that on the channel. But basically, if your GABA is low, we believe that causes anxiety and panic. And so medicines that boost GABA, like Xanax, Valium, Ativan, those medications boost GABA activity. And if your GABA is here, not here, then you feel better than if you were here. So GABA booster is something that we use every day. And GABA boosters, the group of medicines called the benzodiazepines, people have absolutely caused problems with that by abusing the benzodiazepines, by abusing Xanax and Valium and Ativan and Klonopin. So especially for patients that are really compliant, really good citizens, they don't want to be seen as asking for more medication. They don't want to be seen as drug seeking. So essentially being afraid to ask for the help that they need puts them in a situation where they're just waiting and honestly sort of not, they're losing time. So the second person I saw this morning, the gal that I just saw moments ago, she said, I don't know why I waited so long. I really have had a problem with anxiety for a long time. It just said, just small increase of an extra tablet per day helped me so much so I feel like I'm back to normal now. So she was basically telling me that her GABA had been sort of down here, sort of close. And what we finally did for her is we got her where she needed to be. And getting her where she needed to be, she said, I feel like I'm normal now. So the analogy that I've used before, but I'm just going to repeat it, is this is sort of like getting glasses. If you don't wear glasses, you might have to imagine this, but if you do wear glasses or contacts, the issue is you don't get a blood test or an x-ray for getting glasses. You have to tell the eye doctor when you sit down in front of that chart, they put the thing over your eye, you have to say to them, okay, what line can you read? Now, if you memorize that 2020 line ahead of time and you spit the numbers or the letters back and you say that's a E, A, C, G, K, F, and you read that 2020 line because you somehow figured out how to memorize it or you got access to it, you peeked in the room before anyone was there and wrote it down, which people have been known to do. The deception, the not telling them the truth, telling them that they had, basically your vision is fine, so to speak. The eye doctor doesn't know any different. If you really are seeing 20/40 or 20/60 or 20/80 and the doctor doesn't know where you're at, he literally cannot help you. So in my world, when I'm trying to help people, their report to me as to how they're doing is all I have to go on. Now, there are two sides of that. If they try to deceive me and lie to me and tell me that their anxiety is really bad, when in fact what they're doing is they're taking more Xanax than they should, or they're selling it, or doing something illegal, well, those people get caught and we figure that stuff out. But the way more common problem is when people simply are not feeling as good as they want to feel, and they are nervous that if they ask for more medication, that they're going to be seen as drug seeking. And they don't want to, good citizens don't want to be seen as drug seeking, as pill seeking. So obviously, a couple things. If you're working with your doctor, me or somebody else, we should not be giving you enough Xanax or Klonopin or Ativan or Valium to where you will become addicted to it. So there are the thresholds that we talked about in previous videos. But basically, our job as prescribers is to not give you too much, to give you the right amount, but not go over a certain line. If you are not doing well and you have more anxiety and you're not telling anyone, well, we don't know. So the most important thing for you to, as a patient, whether it's with me or with somebody else, is simply tell us where you're at honestly. Now, a lot of people already are on the highest dose of, they've been told, I work with patients all the time, they're already on the highest dosage of a medicine like Xanax or Klonopin or Ativan or Valium that I'm going to give them. Well, if that's not doing it, if that's not fixing the problem, then either they don't just have a GABA problem. In other words, there may be not just one chemical, but another chemical where they're struggling with, or the tool simply is not the right tool for them and needs to be changed. So if you're at the max dosage of a benzodiazepine at the max dosage of a GABA booster, well, just go ahead and be honest about that anyhow. It doesn't mean that we're going to give you more. If you tell us that we're not doing well, I'm going to tell you that, okay, either we need a different medicine or we need to add something to it because maybe you don't just have a GABA shortage. The long and short of it is, if you get yourself in a mental state where you're not telling your doctor where you're at, well, we can't function that way. Without a blood test or an x-ray, troubleshooting brain chemistry, the only way to help you is if you tell us where you're at. And if you tell me where you're at, then I'm going to try to read what you're telling me accurately and come up with a medical solution for you. So, as best I can encourage you, don't let being scared of being seen as a pill taker causes you from not getting the help that you want. We'll manage that. Just tell us where you're at. That's medical, not mental. So, I'm Dr. Dave Psychiatry. Thanks for coming to see me today.